Welcome to this channeled message that I got on Tuesday, which is September 28th, 2021. I wrote it all down in my book. So if you guys keep a psychic log, that's what I always tell my people to do, to keep track of these things. It's, filled with all of the goodies, all of the goodies, all of the experiences, all of the downloads and channelings. And this one came through very late on Tuesday evening. So I have it all written down, and I'm just gonna sort of remove any of me. This is just your channeled message. I am a psychic here on YouTube. I am a psychic specialist. I train people how to use their psychic ability. If you want to learn more about me, check out theartegan.com. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/theartegan. I even think my old website is still up and running, nataliearteaga.com. What else? Yeah, that's me. Okay. So your channeled message has a lot to do with sacred rage. And really what this is about is control and trust and increasing your personal power. This is happening really like literally right on the second Mercury square to Pluto, except right now Mercury is retrograde. Actually, Pluto is retrograde too, but Mercury is retrograde and is going to make hey, Mondo, welcome. Going to make the next square later. So the message that I got for you is sort of instructional. So let me start with defining what sacred rage is. Sacred rage is a force of nature. Sacred rage is kind of like an orgasm, something that takes you by storm. And it's being aware of an injustice or multiple injustices or a lot of injustices and, personal things that were violated, personal boundaries that were crossed, any and all ways that you've been hurt. And sacred rage is really does speak to very intense forms of abuse and just really just deep, big feelings about an injustice. And so anger is a needed, necessary emotion because it tells us when our boundaries are being crossed. It tells us it's the red flag. It's like literally this big red flag saying like, pay attention to this, look at this. And what's going on here? Pay attention to this. There's something bad happening. So when anger is triggered and we take a look and see that our boundaries are being crossed and that there's something bad happening, that anger is supposed to come up, and we're supposed to be able to push back and push off whatever is betraying us, whatever is violating us psychologically, gaslighting, insulting, bullying, teasing, any lying, just straight up lying, cowardice, hypocrites, and people trying to use you, everything, as well as of course physical things, people pushing you physically, taking something off of you, or anything like that. So that anger has to come up. However, if you are a small child, if you're an infant, if you're a toddler, when someone is hurting you and you're just like, you're alive, but you're not at all conscious or aware of the injustice, you might just think, okay, boundaries get crossed and I don't have boundaries, and what are boundaries? Or, this pain is normal. This pain is part of life. It's normal for me to see daddy hurting mommy. And so that's what I'm going to, what I'm saying? It's like when you're, underage, all of that has to get unpacked because you're going to come up against your sacred rage. And that's just going to be there, when you become that conscious adult that understands what's happened and what's happening. So that's anger in a nutshell. That's sacred rage in a nutshell. And what you want to do. So speaking a little bit to what's happening currently. So you might be watching this video in 2027. I don't know what's happening right now, end of September, going into October 2021, is we are in the middle of this extremely long Mercury square to Pluto. And that's because Mercury is going forward in Libra, squaring Pluto. And then the next week, stationing retrograde and then going backwards over that same point that they squared Pluto before. So, and then Mercury's going to station direct later on and then march forward and hit that square again. So this is just like really intense, really, really intense, and a lot of vitriol, a lot of venom, a lot of time to go get 'em. Ain't gonna know what hit on. Oh, hello, welcome. Kundalini induces rage, literally what I was looking into today. Joseph, show care. Thank you so much. That's yes, spot on. Um, Sacred rage is something that this is exactly what my channeled message is about, is what do we do with it? Where do we go from there? You know, we want to be high vibrational. We want to choose peace over conflict. We want to choose love over ego. We want to be able to freaking, oh, this is right before I'm starting my psychokinesis and telekinesis classes. So we want to be able to like use our energy and use our power in order to be able to do things, in order to be able to transcend our own limitations and just have a better life experience. But we have all this sacred rage and there's all this crazy stuff that happened to us. So what do we do with it? Where do we go? How, can both of those things exist in the same body in the same lifetime? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what your channeled message is saying is, and this is so funny because you guys know when I first got on, for those of you that have been with me since 2019, when I first got on YouTube, I just heard like transform a lot. And I don't know, I just heard it a lot, like from every, like looking at other creators and stuff. And I just got really, I don't know, I was just getting like a thing. So I started to use the word alchemize. And that's what this is, alchemizing these feelings, alchemizing this sacred rage and this anger and this frustration, and just like wanting that justice, wanting to create justice for yourself. And all the times in your life where there was no justice, or there was no, you know, responsible adult advocating for your justice, you know, demanding like, don't treat this person this way. Or, you know, if it was last week and you were out with a group of friends and like they all, or, you know, recently someone threw you under the bus and there was no one advocating for your justice, no one advocating for the right thing, for what the truth is. Where do you go with that? You're just sitting in your own anger and frustration and your own, you know, sense of helplessness or despair or resentment. And, you know, it just like festers and stews. But this Mercury square, Pluto, is your opportunity. This is what she was telling me. I mean, it was a big one. This thing just like opened my head up super wide. She's telling me that like specifically on this Mercury Pluto square, that you can alchemize, transform, change these feelings into motivation by changing your perspective and your attitude. This is very conscious energy work where you have to actually try, just like with the pinwheel, just like with the tinfoil, just like with psychokinesis, telekinesis. You have to actually try. And if you listen, you will do it. You will, if you practice and you have patience, you will do it, you will accomplish it. And so it's the same thing with this. Otherwise, when you don't try, that's when you become a victim and you just want to stay a victim, like from the Addams family, Wednesday Addams out there at the summer camp. And there's that girl, they're learning how to save each other in the water, you know, swimming. And, you know, the girl's like, I'll be the victim. And Wednesday goes, all your life. It's basically like that, where if you don't do anything with this, that venom is going to come out and it's going to hurt other people, you know, hurt people, hurt people. And so it's just going to be part of your character and who you are. And it's going to be part of, it's just going to rob you of like who you could have been. And then that's like the biggest injustice, where whoever hurt you, whatever happened to you, actually took so much more of you than 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 they did in the abuse or in the moments, because you're giving the power away. Yes, you're angry and there's that sacred rage over your power being taken away and your name being slandered and people hurting you and they took your money and it's blah, blah, blah. Yes, absolutely. That's your justified anger. That's your sacred rage. What you do with that, you're not responsible for anyone hurting you. You are responsible for the healing. You are responsible for alchemizing this energy. And you do that through changing your perspective and changing your attitude. It's hard. It's hard because you were victimized, that happened. And so changing your, even how you see yourself and the attitude and perspective you see yourself with, has to change, or you just stay a victim. And there's a lot in the world. There's a lot, and they're all in their own little vibrational frequency. So how you start is you have that alter ego, you have that shadow self. For me, it's the Joker. There's this version of Natalie that's the Joker. And it's you have to find your own like way to like look at this and deal with, whatever that looks like for you, however that feels. How does it feel when you're feeling like your most toxic or your most destructive? That feeling, those feelings, that's like a whole separate character. So that evil version of you, that's really just like the more human part of you. That's like that's how I want you to look at it. The human you and the divine you. The you that is the spiritual high vibrational being that's here to like heal and free yourself. So in the beginning, let's say you're just starting from zero. Let's say you've been abused your whole life growing up, and then you got into a string of bad situations and relationships throughout your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and now you're in your 50s and you're ready to like consciously do some really constructive, conscious energy work. Well, you're going to start this work by changing your perspective and your attitude, and you're going to be 90-10. You're going to be 90% like that victim that is just used to people really hurting you, and it never goes right, and you always think that it's going to be different. It always ends up the same, and it's like one horrible thing after another, and the health problems and the money problems, like problems, and no friends, and this, like, it just, everyone at work hates you, and it's just like this your whole world, your whole life becomes this like I don't know, this bubble of victimhood or victim identity, or whatever happens to be. These are like very simplistic examples, by the way. So, okay. But you have to keep doing the energy work. You have to keep trying. You really, really do. Because what you put your focus on, and this is so important. When I do the psychokinesis and telekinesis classes, this is so, 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 so important. What you put your focus on and your attention on. Okay, that's actually a separate part. But you're going to start 90-10. You're going to keep working it, and when you're going to slide back, you're going to be high vibrational, and something's going to trigger you, and you're going to go back, and you're going to be depressed, you're going to be upset, you're going to be angry, you're going to go into victim identity, where that sacred rage and that anger isn't doing anything for you. Here's the thing, here's how to find out if here's how to find out if your anger is justified. When you feel angry, ask yourself, are my boundaries being crossed? Is someone trying to take something from me? What's really happening here? That will tell you, because if your boundaries are being crossed, if someone's trying to take something from you, if someone's trying to take your power away, if someone's trying to put you down, if there's like a real attack happening, yes, your anger is justified, and you can use it to push back and get your boundary back. But if you're angry at someone for, I don't know, for getting a new car, for posting on their social media, if you're angry at someone for ordering a certain meal off a menu at a restaurant, if you're angry at someone for, I don't know, something super small and petty, is that anger justified? No, it's not. That's a toxic something happening inside of you. That's all you, and you. Then you're like projecting something onto someone else, and who knows what that is. That's like a whole separate thing. So you're going to revert back 90-10, then it's going to be 60-40, then it's going to be 50-50 of the time. Half the time you're your shadow, you're this like the human stuff is, because remember, the sacred rage, it's this force of nature. This is like, you can have like a temper, you could have like it just comes out of nowhere, you can have, it's going to be different for everyone. For some of you it's a slow burn, for some of you it's an absolute explosion, but then it's over. It's going to be different, everyone's unique. But then if you just keep on it, you will be so much more in control of yourself, because you will be like 100% divine, and then you will be able to consciously channel this outlet, this sacred rage. For me, it's music. I was a metalhead in high school. And so for me, music, when I'm dancing weird, when I'm like headbanging, when I'm just like, or when I'm like climbing, when I have a whole bunch of things that I do, but it's safe, and it's expressive, and it's healthy, and it's, did I mention safe? It's very, very safe. That's like the key word. I'm not projecting it onto anybody. I'm not retaliating against an imagined slight or a real slight, a real bully. I'm not, because guys, I am speaking from personal experience. I'm born with Mercury, Pluto. So I've burned the village down already. That used to happen to me, where I would get so angry that I would, how in Kill Bill, when she sees red, she sees like, and she just gets angry, she sees red. What would happen to me is I would actually see I would see like I would see an actual village, and I would see it like in flames and burning, and it would just be like I had just like very destructive, just a lot of sacred rage. So, it took a lot to really harness this energy and really like just get in control of my energy and control of my power and control of myself. Otherwise, I would have burned the whole thing down, and I did a lot. I blew up so many spots. Not there's a lot. There's a lot. So, um, and I'm saying that so that you know that you don't want to give up on yourself. That doesn't matter where you're starting, as long as you start somewhere. Okay. So when you start though, you'll regress and you do better. You regress, you do, and it's a process. But then you get to the point. I'm so happy that I'm at this point now. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for the world, you guys. And they were horribly hard lessons to learn. But to have the power that I have now over myself is you can't buy that. You can't buy it. You can't trade it. You can't you just can't find it. You can only create it and own it. And it's something that like I will never give away ever again. Like it's incredible how better it feels to be in control of your own energies, and that that no one can elicit a reaction, or that people cannot manipulate me into a reaction, or that it's like or you're getting super triggered. And so oh my god, guys, Brittany. Okay, I'm not going to digress, but anyway, so once you get to this point, voila, now you've changed. Now you've actually changed. If you try to tell yourself, like in the middle of sacred rage, and you just like, I don't know, break something, or you go off on your mom or something, and you're like, I gotta change. That's too far. That's too far. Even for that victim mentality, even for it's for any really deep significant changes that you've got to make in your life, it's just too far of a bridge to and expectation and pressure to put on yourself. You've got to start knowing that you're going to make progress, and that it's going to be these sliding numbers. And she gave me these numbers. I'm not even a numbers person, but she gave me the numbers like 90, 10, 60, 40, 50, 50, 0, 100. So that's going to help someone out there. So now that you self-observe your real accomplishment, it increases your self-esteem. And this is what I'm so happy to show you guys with my high priestess. It's a Patreon exclusive, because once you are able to move physical objects without using physical energy, your self-esteem increases, and you go, oh my god, I can do something like this, I can do this, oh my gosh, it's a big thing. So the same thing with this sacred rage work is that now you're even stronger, life's easier to enjoy. And this is the part where you get over the self-doubt, you get over the big hurdles. And then it's about maintenance and upkeep, and like if it's like a daily practice, or if it is a daily meditation, or if you do yoga, or if you do I dance a lot, I play a lot of music, I love music. And it's like whatever it happens to be for you, that keeps you in control of yourself, keeps you in control of your energy and your energy work. That is going to increase the self-esteem, because you just see, oh my god, I'm doing it. I'm just like when you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, or increase your muscle mass or decrease your muscle mass, whatever your objective is, physically, you do the same things to yourself inside with your energy work, and it creates a much better life's easier to enjoy. Life's easier to enjoy, because now you're not getting triggered, now you're not getting upset, now you're not getting like you're gonna go burn the village down. You know what I'm saying? So we don't choose Inhumanity naturally. It will come up though. Okay, so now you've gotten this healing, you're really great, you're high vibrational, you do your maintenance, you do your upkeep, but it doesn't mean you're never going to encounter a bad, toxic situation ever again. It doesn't mean you're never going to encounter some low vibrational people ever again that are going to try and like hurt you. So, okay, It will come up. Inhumanity will come back up just like it did when you were a child or a young adult or in your adult life. Whatever those initial injustices were, it may even be those similar forms, because there's like I'm going to digress into an energetic thing. But anyway, so when it does come up, because it will, the inhumanity is going to keep, that's part of life. So if you can't deal with that, and that's going to keep reaffirming the victim identity, the victim mentality, and that's going to keep what's that word? Reinforcing. It's going to keep reinforcing this victim mentality, because you're going to say, "Oh, I'm healing. I'm healing. Oh, but look at this happen to me again. How did that happen? I'm supposed to attract what I am, and why did I attract such a bad person, or why did I get into this?" And it's going to like decrease your self-esteem. It's going to do the exact opposite. So when this inhumanity comes up, you've got to be prepared to deal with it when it does. Okay. And this is within others and within yourself. Like you might have some other feelings or other things to deal with your own inhumanity. So, okay, that's all coming up to the surface of our awareness over these few weeks on this Mercury square to Pluto. Okay. Okay. And whenever Mercury squares Pluto, that's what it is. It's like the rooting and the digging out, like the root canal. I've talked about that elsewhere on my channel, getting to the very root, getting all the toxins and the pus and all that nasty stuff out. And anyway, so, okay, we've gotten you to this part, right? Now I get to talk about the very best part of doing all of this work, of healing yourself, getting control of yourself again, getting your sacred rage honored and respected, and understanding the purpose that anger serves in your life, so that you can use it to protect yourself, so that you can use it to advocate for those boundaries and to live ultimately the better life. We've talked about your maintenance, and now that you're in a place where you're not going to go burn the village down, we get to talk about the rewards. There's a reward cycle. I mean, there's lesson karmic cycles, but then there's reward cycles. The whole dang universe reacts and is changed forever by each and every thought that you think. If you're not choosing your thoughts, you're not empowered. You're not empowering yourself. If you're scrolling TikTok and you see someone that makes you feel insecure, if you are talking to your family at the family dinner table and they're talking about someone and they're comparing them to you and you're feeling insecure, these are things like, I'm just talking about things that lower your self-esteem. If you are comparing yourself to someone else, if you are whatever it happens to be, you are lowering your own self-esteem. Or if you're like over involved in somebody else's life and you're not even looking at your own life, whatever it is, those are your choices, and you're changing your life or changing the rest of the universe with every thought that you think, because every thought's like this little thought spiral, and it's this little thing. So every personal challenge that you win by choosing your own thoughts, and this goes back to changing your perspective and changing your attitude, choosing the thoughts, choosing your own thoughts, choosing that first thought that's going to spiral into something that's going to increase your self-esteem or decrease your self-esteem. Where was I? Every personal challenge you win, with every lesson you learn along with the rest, count towards the manifested energies you'll harvest when karma cashes out. So this is like everything that let's take the lesson part. With every lesson you learn, that you integrate into your body, into your soul, any painful experience where you go and you're like, wow, I need to take responsibility for this, or oh wow, it's not go the way I thought it was going to go, or oh wow, I really messed this up, or this person did whatever it was, whatever the kerfuffle was, or whatever the big drama was, or the big traumatic event. Maybe your a parent got into a horrible car crash, and maybe you were like on drugs and you had to go with a sibling, or you had to go with a family member, or a friend had to take you, and it was like this whole big thing, and it was just like a big catastrophe. This is getting so dramatic. All my examples are so dramatic. They're just coming out of the ethers. To make that worth something, to get like the most out of that, is to get the wisdom and learn the lesson. Ask yourself, what am I trying to learn here? If there's something bad happening to you, that you're feeling. What are you trying to learn in this situation? And take some responsibility. That energy work, that's the alchemization. You're transforming these feelings into different feelings. You're transforming these, what was it? What did she say? She said alchemize feelings into motivation. So you're turning these feelings of anger, rage, fear, low self-esteem into motivation, and that's how you do it. It's not some Nike poster of a runner with like tying his shoelaces motivation. It's real because it's your life. No hate against, like, I didn't mean to blast any Nike models. I'm not, it's just saying. Okay, so the reward cycle. So when you do all of this work, when you're actually changing energy, not only is it increasing your quality of life, but it's actually earning you positive karma. And when karma cashes out, you're going to collect. When does, oh man, I'm missing all of these messages. Sorry, guys. When does karma cash out? October. When everything goes direct. When specifically when Saturn goes direct. If you can get through these couple of weeks, if you can get through these Mercury squares to Pluto, Mercury square Pluto energy, unscathed, where you don't burn the village down, you don't, like, you know, you advocate for your boundaries, you defend yourself, but you don't go extra, you don't go overboard, you don't react, you don't give your power away. If you can see where you are feeling so toxic and so venomous, and you can channel that into a dance party in your home, or you can channel that into, like, maybe you need to get a chainsaw and go and, like, I don't know, work on a project in your backyard, or work on your car in the garage, or build a shed, or build something, or build a little birdhouse, or hammer something in the, I have another Capricorn friend. She likes to crunch things with her jaw. Like, she eats things that are really hard, and I would if I could do that, but she just loves to just like grind things. And me, I like to actually, anyway, you'll have to find something, though. You have to have, just like the inhumanity is going to come up for you. How are you going to deal with that in yourself and in other people? Because when you do, and you get through whatever the triggers are, you get through whatever is like making you feel venomous, or if you're encountering that in other people, how to defend yourself against those people, how to get away from those people, and how to advocate for your own boundaries, then you get karmic rewards. So Saturn goes direct, 4 planets go direct in October 2021. The results and progress will manifest. So you might not see instantaneous results of all this hard work. Actually, you will on a personal level, because you're going to be living a better quality of life, but you will see outer forms of physical manifestation of those results and the progress manifesting in the physical 3D form later this month, going into November, December. And this is ongoing. So there's always different cycles. Life is happening in cycles and in layers. So you're always starting some new cycle, in the middle of some cycle, ending some other cycle. And they're either going to be lesson cycles, karmic learning cycles, and some of these are going to be reward cycles. So when something happens in your life that's really great, and just came out of nowhere, you earn that somehow with the positive energy work that you do. When something just blows up in front of you, you got to learn a lesson. You got to alchemize that energy. Okay. So the clues to what these challenges are, to what these lessons are that you're trying to learn, and how to overcome them, how to move through the energy, and the clues to the rewards hidden in these lessons and challenges and in the how are all embedded in astrology and in tarot and in your own psychic ability. For my little baby psychics out there, when you're tuning in and you can detach, when you can detach from the outcome, when you can detach from your own self and your own life, when you can detach from your own body, when you can separate your consciousness from your body. All right, I'm getting a little ahead of, but you guys know what I'm saying. 30 minutes. I thought this was going to be like a 10-minute video. Okay, let's see. Are there any, oh, I think you guys are having like just your own little chit chat. I love that, you guys. I love that you guys connect here. All right, my loves, that is your channeled message. It was really all about the alchemization, and it was really, she was saying it in like a very step-by-step, like breaking it down way. and explaining about the rewards, and she gave me those numbers. So I just wanted to tell you guys, that was Tuesday. That might resonate or make sense for someone, that it was on Tuesday, September was 28th. So hopefully this helps you guys on not just this Mercury square Pluto, but the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one, that you take these lessons and that you integrate it, and that it, just sit with it, let it seep into your subconscious. And maybe you'll have some interesting, actually, if you have some interesting dreams tonight, let me know in the comments below, because I'll be very curious. So until next time, my loves, many, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings.